Non-binary. Non-binary individuals transcend the traditional binary conception of male and female. Their gender identities may fall along a spectrum beyond exclusive adherence to either end, or they may entirely reject the concept of gender. Diverse and multifaceted non-binary identities encompass genderqueer, genderfluid, agender, bigender, and more. Some individuals may embody a mixture of both masculine and feminine qualities, while others transcend the gender binary entirely. Transgender. Transgender is a general term that describes people whose gender identity, or their internal sense of being male, female, or something else, does not match the sex they were assigned at birth. By contrast, the term cisgender describes people whose gender identity aligns with the sex they were assigned at birth. According to the National Center for Transgender Equality, there are about 1.4 million transgender people in the United States who fall into several categories. For example, that can be transgender woman was labeled as male at birth, but has the gender identity of a female, or transgender man was assigned female sex at birth, but identifies as male. Some transgender people don't identify with one gender exclusively. Their gender identity may combine both female and male elements. Genderfluid. Genderfluid is a gender identity which refers to a gender that varies or changes over time. This can be occasionally, every month, every week, every day, or every few moments during a day depending on the person. Sometimes it is consistent and sometimes it is not. A genderfluid person's gender may change dramatically, delicately, rapidly, or slowly, also depending on the person. The gender may stay the same for several months or change within minutes. Sometimes the gender changes in response to different circumstances. Intersex. It's people who are born with variations in sex characteristics that do not fit typical definitions of male or female. These variations can involve chromosomes, hormones, internal reproductive organs, or external genitalia. Intersex variations are diverse and can manifest in different ways, with some individuals visibly intersex at birth, while others may discover their intersex status later in life. It's important to recognize that intersex is a naturally occurring biological variation and is distinct from gender identity or sexual orientation. Intersex people may identify as male, female, both, neither, or as another gender entirely, just like non-intersex individuals. Intersex individuals have historically faced stigma, discrimination, and harmful medical interventions aimed at normalizing their bodies. However, there is a growing movement advocating for intersex rights, including bodily autonomy, access to accurate information, and an end to non-consensual medical interventions. Cakegender. Cakegender is a gender in which one's gender is related to cake and is soft and fluffy like cake. This gender may also be described as sweet or warm. Cakegender can also come in different flavors, which could change how the gender feels. One could also feel as if one's gender tastes and/or smells like cake. One who is cakegender may also feel their gender or flavors are layered, similar to a layered cake. Autosexual. Autosexuality is when someone feels a strong attraction to themselves. It's like finding yourself really attractive and feeling most turned on by your own body. You might think of it as giving yourself all the love and attention you need, focusing on your own pleasure and desires. Autosexuality is part of a broader concept called autoeroticism, which is all about exploring and enjoying yourself sexually without needing someone else in the picture. Agender. Agender describes individuals who don't align with any gender or feel detached from the idea of gender entirely. They may not experience a sense of gender identity or may feel that traditional gender categories don't apply to them. Agender people might express themselves in gender-neutral ways, preferring neutral pronouns like they, them, and rejecting societal expectations related to gender. Faunagender. Faunagender is a xenogender identity in which one's gender is in some way influenced by or related to animals. Faunagender can be used as a specific term if referring to a gender related to animals in general, or used as an umbrella term for all genders that relate to specific animals, such as catgender or pupgender. Polygender refers to individuals who identify with multiple genders. This can include any combination of traditional genders, such as male and female, as well as non-binary or other gender identities. Polygender individuals may experience their gender identity as fluid, or may feel multiple gender identities simultaneously. Polygender identities highlight the diversity and complexity of gender experiences, challenging traditional binary understandings of gender. Commogender individuals, influenced by their community or culture, often have their gender identity shaped by these experiences. This identity acknowledges the impact that social context and belonging to a specific group can have on one's understanding of gender. Commogender individuals may feel a strong connection to the norms, values, and experiences shared within their community or cultural group, and this connection may shape their sense of gender identity. For example, someone may identify as Commogender if they feel that their gender identity is deeply intertwined with the collective identity of their community or cultural background. Abinary, Abinary, also known as apisgender or aphorian, is a gender quality used to refer to genders that are completely unrelated to maleness, masculinity, femaleness, or femininity, and are nowhere in between, being completely away from the binary whilst still not always being genderless. Abinary genders may describe feeling any strength of gender whilst still being unrelated to the binary genders. The term abinary can be summarized as any gender that is unrelated to the binary. The term is also sometimes used interchangeably with the terms unaligned non-binary or neutral-aligned non-binary. Demiguy someone who is assigned male at birth but does not fully identify with being a man, socially or mentally. In other words, while male is the sex designation and the person identifies somewhat with the gender man, the person does not consider themselves as only in those binary capacities. Hemigender or semigender is a subset of demigender in which one feels that their gender is exactly half one gender and half another gender. For example, a hemiboy would be exactly 50% male and 50% something else. The other half may be any other gender or combination of genders. Pupgender, puppygender, or doggender is a xenogender identity and faunagender in which one's gender is puppy-like, connected to puppies, and or described as small, lively, cute, and any other quality associated with puppies. It is also an umbrella term for all dog-associated genders. Pupgender is sometimes considered a neurogender and is often used by neurodivergent individuals, but is not exclusive, and therefore can be used by anyone. Pangender. Pangender is a term used to describe individuals who identify with all genders. This identity encompasses the recognition and acceptance of multiple genders simultaneously. Pangender individuals may feel a sense of connection to various gender identities, including traditional male and female genders, as well as non-binary, genderqueer, or other gender identities. It's essential to understand that pangender is a form of gender diversity that challenges binary notions of gender. Pangender individuals may experience their gender identity as fluid or may feel a consistent connection to all genders throughout their lives. Demigirl. Demigirl is someone who identifies partially, but not entirely, as a girl or woman. This identity falls under the non-binary umbrella, where individuals may feel a mix of both feminine and non-binary gender identities. Demigirls might experience their gender identity as fluid or static, and their expression of gender can vary widely. Some demigirls may choose to use she/her pronouns exclusively, while others might prefer a combination of pronouns or even solely gender-neutral pronouns.